Hello everyone, Gainer here, HDB Upgrading Strategies, and welcome today to my Facebook Live. And today is actually my Facebook Live episode 12, right? 12. 1, 2, 12. So what is today's topic really about? And I think quite a lot of HDB owners, or those people who have been owning HDB flats, you guys will definitely be very interested. Now, this is actually one of the incident that in fact happened to me very recently, and that's why I thought that it will be really very important to share this topic today with you guys. Right, so what is today's topic? For those who have been following my posts or my live videos, in my Facebook page, today I'll be talking about this. And today is this, right? So what is this? This is about holding a HDB flat and renting it out, right? So once again, if you guys are streaming in, what is this topic about? This is actually this is really very relevant to people who are holding HDB flats and they probably just want to rent it out. And so why this topic today? Because recently something really happened to me, because as you guys know, I'm also an agent, so I've been helping my clients to rent their HDB flats, stuff like that. So that's why it really happened to me. So what really happened to me, which is why I'm sharing with you guys today. Now, I believe that some of my friends, my agent friends, are also watching this video. Thank you for someone who actually put a like. So I believe that you guys have been doing a lot of rental. What is really one of the biggest concern for this? Now, in fact, to me, right, I've been helping this client to rent out his HDB flat for the past 4-5 years, and everything has been really smooth, right? In fact, he has a Filipino tenant that has been renting and renewing until recently, when we decided to renew this Filipino tenant, something really happened. And what is this? I'm going to share with you guys now. Now, this really happened, right? This really happened, which is this. This is actually about a non-citizen quota for renting out the flat. So what is this really about? Previously, this policy probably is only effective for people who want to sell their HDB flats, right? Why is this so? Is because probably I think the government really wants the neighborhood, every block to have a kind of balance, a kind of make sure the balance of the people living there, right? And that's why I initiate for this one is relevant for the selling of the HDB flats. But if you really see in this, right, recently, which is actually not that recent ago, which is we effect from 16th of January 2014, owners will have to consider the NC quota. NC means the non-citizen quota, right? If you are one of the tenants, if let's say it's a non-Malaysian PR, permanent resident or foreigner, so meaning to say you have a lot of restrictions in terms of rental. And frankly speaking, this really hit hard for one of my clients that's helping them, because I actually wanted to renew this family, Filipino family, for their rental. But when I went inside and locked inside, actually the quota was filled. So I think this is something I think really relevant for a lot of people who probably, at the end of the day, the answer is really no right, no wrong. It depends on you guys. But for me personally, I think this restriction really dampens a lot in terms of, if you're looking at your HDB as a kind of investment, because this is really very important. And probably I'm not too sure whether you guys who are watching, has this really affect you? I don't know, has it really affect you? But if not, then probably you might be really have to be very careful of this, because honestly speaking, I tried to log inside and check. There's this inquiry of the non-citizen quota for renting, and I tried to so before you actually rent it out, you actually have to look at this flat owner blog, and this the thing, citizenship of tenants. So when you click this and when you click to inquire, you probably will know your answer. So probably after this, you guys can probably just, for those who have been renting out your HDB flats, I think this is something that you can check as well. right? And this one I also want to highlight, they also stated in this is about how the NC, which is the non-citizen quota works, right? So in terms of maximum proportion of flats that can be rented out to the non-Malaysian NC tenants, which is in terms of neighborhood is actually 8%, but in terms of the block, that means per block, the quota, the maximum is only 11%. And this really hit hard to one of my flat owners, because he had been renting out to a lot of to Filipino family who has been renewing for many years, right? And suddenly when he wants to renew again, actually this issue happened. And that's why I was thinking that this would be a really relevant topic that I want to share with you guys, especially for those who have been looking to keep the HDB flats as a form of investment in terms of rental. All right, why? Because I'm going to break down this really very important thing. Now, in terms of rental, right, we probably have three groups of tenant: rental for HDB, right, and three groups. So what are the really three groups, right? If you really see, there are three groups. Now, first is definitely the Singaporeans, right? Singaporeans who might rent the HDB flats. One is definitely the Malaysians, which is something that this is part of it for Malaysians. And another one would be the foreigners, or probably I just put others. Now, others is definitely like the Indian groups, the Filipino, families, stuff, and others. And my client was actually affected by this because his tenant, who is a Filipino family, has been renting for the past 4 to 5 years, and we really didn't expect that when we tried to renew, this actually affected, and he was not able to rent to this group of people anymore. So we can only look for Singaporeans and Malaysians. But if you really look at these three different groups, you ask yourself one question: who are the ones that really rent from you, right? Is it the Singaporeans? Honestly, I don't think a lot of Singaporeans will probably rent the HDB flats from you if you're holding a HDB flats. Now, even so, their rental probably can be just an interim, meaning to say probably they are waiting for their properties to be ready, be it if they buy a new launch, or they are waiting for their BTO flats, or they are waiting for their ECs, stuff like that while it's building, and probably they just want to come out and live by themselves. Then this will be the group of people, Singaporeans, that are renting from you. But if you really look at it, is it a huge group of people? Depends on you guys, but for me, I don't think so, right? Now, next, is it this group of Malaysians, right? I'm not too sure. I've been an agent for the past 10 years, and I've been in the rental business as well, helping a lot of my homeowners to rent their HDB flats, their private properties. Now, of course, Malaysians, we have a group of people, but in fact may not be that a lot as well, right? And really, lastly, we have to be dependent on this group of people, which honestly speaking, this really, if I'm not wrong, has a big group. Now, so the thing is that, does this affect you if you want to rent your HDB flat? Of course, right? If today you are at a certain neighborhood, right, Sengkang, Punggol, or other areas, and you see a lot of this group of people, right, then I think if you really want to rent your flat, then there will be a huge challenge. Why? Because there will be other competitors, as in other HDB owners in your area, who is also looking to rent out his place, and you guys will be fighting for this, right? This group of people. So technically speaking, even how much lower you lower your price to attract this group is no point as well. Why? Because they obviously cannot rent the flat. It's not like, you sell your properties, stuff like that. You lower your price, there will be people who come in to give you an offer. But for rental, no. Even though you reduce the price, you can't rent to this group of people, means you cannot rent. So every month you have to keep reviewing and looking. And I think this will definitely be a very big hassle, right? So you really have to look at these three groups of people who will be renting Who will be the very potential group of people renting your HDB flat, right? So at the end of the day, right, what I want you guys to see is this. Today, this is your HDB flat, right? HDB flat. So today, if you are keeping your HDB flat because of rental, so we have to see on a very holistic picture. One will be growth, right? Growth is very important. And one will be your rental, right? So this is your HDB and you're holding. One, you'll be looking at these two because honestly, if you're holding your HDB flats, of course, I think very important that you look into a very long-term plan for your property, because you probably wants to hold your HDB flat, be it for rental, because you might think that, or probably I know a lot of people will look at HDB has the best rental yield, right? That's why a lot of people wants to keep the HDB flats. Honestly speaking, if you look at it, I do understand HDB has the best rental yield, but without a doubt, why it has the best rental yield? Because it is, when you bought HDB flat, right? HDB flats are generally cheaper, much cheaper in price, and the rental is there. That's why, of course, rental yield is quite good. But having said that, should that be the number one factor for you in terms of if you're looking for long-term growth for your property? That's why if you're holding your HDB flat, you have to consider two main factors. One is, does it have a lot of growth? And one is, does it have good rental? Frankly speaking, without that policy, right, about the quota, the non-citizen quota, previously, if my client is looking at holding for HDB just because of rental, maybe I will not be that concerned, because of course, having a HDB for rental, that can be a good income as well. But having said that, with this new policy, which is the non-citizen, this once again for people who are looking for this enquiry, this should be the one, non-citizen quota for the renting of the flat. So because of this, rental will be greatly affected, because you probably has to wait for maybe 3-4 months. If you're lucky, then by all means, right? But if you're not, then you will be competing with your neighborhood or probably your block to look for this group of people, and with that, your rental can be greatly affected. And if your rental is greatly affected, we will be talking about maybe 3, 4, 5 months that you have to find a tenant. So this creates a lot of competition as well. Now next, we also have to look at your growth. Now, will your HDB has a lot of growth? So I think this has to be put into consideration, especially for you guys who are keeping your HDB flats for rental, stuff like that, or probably if you think that is good for investment, right? And that's why I hope today, this is really a very short live video, but I hope that I can really share with you guys about my personal experience, because my client was affected, and before that, I really didn't, I know that this policy was there, but it really didn't affect me yet, till it really, my client was, when he wants to renew that group of tenants, and it happened, right? And that was when I pondered, what can be done and what should be done, right? Stuff like that. So I think because this is Facebook Live, I hope you guys probably, if you guys feel that this is a topic that's really very interesting, I hope you guys can probably give him some good comments, or probably share this with some of your friends, if probably your friends are also affected. I'm not too sure if you guys are watching, you are also affected by this as well. Hopefully, I hope that this may not affect you, but we have to be really careful. We just have to keep a watch out of this. And this is something that is really true, because it already happened to me as an agent, and someone as an agent that's helping for my client. And now he has to really start to review whether should he keep his HDB flat, because he probably need to spend a longer time to find a tenant, or probably should he sell or use the funds from the HDB flat to probably use to invest in another private property, stuff like that. So I think these are good thinkers for you guys to review and to look through, right? With that, I hope you guys really like the video that I've been sharing. Hope you guys give me the likes, help me to share, help me to, probably just let your clients know about it. And with that, I'm not too sure if you guys have any questions. If you don't, okay, thanks a lot, Alina. Thanks for this, giving me a comment about these good tips. Thank you so much. And I really hope that I can probably every week, Sunday, 10 p.m., just give you guys a lot of different advice in terms of property investment, upgrading, stuff like that. Now with that, hope you guys just press the button. It's just so close. You just use your finger, press the like button, share, or comment something, stuff like that. And with that, thank you so much, guys, and I hope to see you guys next week again. Goodbye.